Honestly, I didn't want to go to college.
I feel like I didn't really want to go either because both my parents didn't go to college, and I mean, they're doing okay.
That was Katie and Alyssa, two lifelong friends and community college students. Katie just graduated from the Community College of Baltimore County with a major in mass communications. And Alyssa graduated from Hartford Community College, where she played for their softball team. In this episode, we will listen to a conversation between Katie and Alyssa about their path to college. How did Katie and Alyssa, two friends who didn't want to go to college at all, end up as community college students on their way to a 4-year institution? My name is Attia Robinson, and this is Good School. In truth, kids start having these conversations when they're like 5 years old. People are always asking kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Sometimes college is a part of the kid's imaginary life plan, but sometimes it's not.
My dream has always been to like be a baker and have my own business, like my own little bakery or cafe or something. And like that's always going to be like a kind of like side gig for me, I guess, because I mean I bake for family and friends all the time. Obviously, you know.
She makes really good apple cider donuts.
It's a favorite. It's a fan favorite.
I thought you were going to say a vet. I feel like we have like a small friend group from our neighborhood.
Serious?
Yeah. I feel like we all went through a stage where we wanted to be a vet when we were like 7.
Yeah. It was a vet, a teacher, and a baker. No.
I wanted to be a vet, but then I realized you have to put animals down. I said, never mind. I feel like I want to be a vet. And then I kind of also just felt like I was going to be a celebrity. Like, I just kind of just waited.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll be famous by then. Like, I don't have to worry about a career.
College, who?
Yeah.
We don't need that.
By the time kids transition from elementary to middle school, pressure about the future grows in intensity.
Did you ever worry about your grades in elementary?
Yes, 100%.
Why?
Because of my older sister. She is brilliant. She's a genius and got straight A's. So growing up, like, I felt like I had to, like, follow her and, like, be that smart as well. And I'm not, like, not smart. It's just I'm kind of skating by.
Yeah.
Like, I would get A's, maybe, like, a B or C here or there. But I did definitely worry about my grades because I feel like I had to follow in her footsteps.
The people around us do influence our choices. Our community is in a lot of ways our world. Our family plays a big role in who we are and who we will become. Alyssa admired her older sister and her grades, but she bonded with her dad over softball. They watched college softball together on TV, and her dad told her she could play college ball one day too.
I started softball, like I said, when I was 3, and then I think I started club ball I really got into it when I was, I believe, like 8 or 9. You're practicing like 3 days a week, and then you have every single weekend is a tournament. My friends were on my team. It really does take up like a lot of your time, but I didn't care because it's something I loved. Thought it was going to take me somewhere.
Katie thought college was going to take her somewhere too, mainly somewhere other than Maryland.
I was convinced I was going to go to like Florida or something. I don't know any schools that were in Florida. Like I was like middle school. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to like Florida.
Right.
And I'm going to like go to a big school, like sorority life. Like that's all I thought about.
Like living on campus, walking around, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like living on your own.
Yeah.
That
was like my first idea of college. Our sisters are both 4 years older than us.
Yeah, they're the same.
So
yeah.
I was in like 7th grade when my sister graduated high school. So I feel like in middle school I started thinking about college because I was looking at where she was going.
Yeah, I saw her like going through the whole process of like talking to colleges and like applying for colleges. And I was like, even though she was 4 years older than me, I was like, when do I have to start doing that?
Yeah, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade. They like made us do like a 10 or 20 year like timeline for like our future.
Whoa, 20 years? As a middle schooler, that's longer than you've been on Earth. Aren't you just thinking about what you're going to do after school, or maybe the weekend if you're really a planner? Not if you want to go to a good school. At 12 years old, middle schoolers are already thinking about high school because the right high school can get you into the right college.
We grew up in like the public school system in Baltimore County. And then we grew up in Perry Hall. So yeah, Perry Hall Middle, Perry Hall Elementary. So you were just automatically going to Perry Hall High unless you decided otherwise.
Yeah.
So my mom was kind of nervous for me to go because like they all started to go downhill.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't want to go to like Eastern Tech? And I was like, no.
It's kind of like a college vibe where you specialize in something. Like they have the culinary and they have like engineering. That's a good thing because it kind of prepares you for like
college.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Because it makes you like, it gets you more interested and gets you like focusing on certain things. And like if you wanted to be a nurse and you went to Eastern Tech and then you didn't like it, then you wouldn't be wasting money going to college at first.
Yeah.
For like nursing. So
that's true. I remember people in middle school, like the ones that ended up going to Eastern Tech were like the really smart kids, but the ones that like kind of had helicopter parents. Yeah. I feel like it was more of like the parents like, oh, you should go here.
While some students might have helicopter parents and others might want to study nursing at a technical high school, there are many students, like Katie and Alyssa, who simply go to the local public school. However, no matter the school they go to, the classes they take, or the grades they get, their high school years often lead to the same place, college applications.
When did you begin preparing to go to college?
Very late into my senior year, like actually preparing and like applying for colleges.
Right.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't apply to a single 4-year.
Alyssa had dreams of playing ball in college, but she didn't apply to a single 4-year school. It is fairly common for community college students not to have applied to any 4-year universities. Left to their own devices, what teenager would?
I feel like for me, since I grew up watching college softball on TV, that's always been like my dream, like to go play college softball. So I was like thinking about that, but not thinking about the part that I have to apply for college. Apply for colleges, I have to pay for college. I have to like actually take the classes.
Me neither.
Oh, okay.
So you don't really think you prepared?
No, not really. I like honestly, the start of junior year really with like was it PSATs or the SATs?
SATs, yeah.
They're like really starting to prep you, and then I was like, I kept like pushing it off, and like I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, college is far away. Like I have time.
Yeah,
I'll be fine. And then I got to like the spring of my senior year, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "That's a good question." They're like, colleges like already like are waiting for your application. Like they're already accepting people, and like they're filling up. And I was like, I don't know. I guess community college. And they're like, "Are you going to community college?" I was like, "Sure, I guess." So I was like figuring out like the happy medium of like, I don't have to go to college, but maybe I should, and just like see where it takes me.
Yeah, I feel like I started around the SATs. Like that's when I feel like it hit me. Yeah. So junior year, yeah. And then after that, all my friends, like I said, they were like super smart, like super straight A's, like on AP classes all the time. So they were like all stressing about the SAT. But I was like, screw the SAT. I just looked on Google. I was like, hey, where do I want to go? And then my mom would always try to push like the question on me or like the conversation, like, so what do you want to do? I was like, it's a good question.
I feel like for me, my mom was like, she was fine without it, but my grandmother was the one who was like hardcore and like, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? Really? You're going to college, right? I definitely feel like when talking, because I feel like in high school, once you get to that point in high school, the conversation that you have with your friends is about college. So whenever we were talking about it,
was always college because all my friends were in AP English.
Yep.
So, and in AP English, they made you write your college essay like in the class. Yep. And it took like 2 months.
As seniors in high school who hadn't yet applied to any colleges, the clock was ticking for Katie and Alyssa. And they weren't alone. For a lot of us, college goes from something that you want to be when you grow up to something you have to do right now. When everyone around you has been preparing you for college for decades, is there another option?
There was a field trip you could go on if you were in that class to New York. And so I went to New York, and at this point, like I had this little GoPro, and I would just like make videos of my friends, like a little vlog or whatever. Yeah. So I took it to New York, and I remember Mr. Probst, he was my AP US history teacher, and I made the video, and like I put him in it, and then I showed it to him when I finished it, and he was like, "This is so cool! Like, I want to use it." He wanted to use it for like the next year's APUSH class to kind of convince them to go on the trip. So yeah, and then he was like, "You should think about doing this for like a career, like video." And I was like, you know what? Actually, that sounds really cool. And then I saw High Point University in North Carolina. So that was like my first school. I was like, oh, like I want to go there. And then the school still had the digital media like option. So I was like, okay, I'll go there, but it was really expensive. I think it's like, because it's private technically. And it was out of state. So it was like $60,000 a year, I think.
Holy cow.
And so I was like, no. So then that's when CCBC really became like more of an option, because my mom was like, okay, if you want to go to like High Point, you should start at CCBC because they're just going to make you take the same classes and it's going to be cheaper. But I didn't like the idea of going to community college because nobody else like in my friend group was. And I feel like whenever I said something about community college, for people our age, they kind of like looked down on it. Like,
oh,
they
100%.
were like that's where everyone like that didn't want to go to college went.
Right.
But then I think after a while, I just was like, it makes sense for me. Screw what other people think. And I looked at the digital media program at CCBC, and it seemed like it was like a good program. Like I like looked at all the classes I would take. It all seemed interesting. And then my mom was like, you should just go there. You don't even know 100% if that's what you want to do, like digital media. So I was like, okay, I'll go there. So I had like that kind of idea, I think like middle of my senior year.
In high school, Katie did not know what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a celebrity and be in a sorority, but hadn't given college too much thought otherwise. A positive interaction from a teacher got her thinking more concretely about her future plans. And community college gave her an opportunity to take classes in digital media without the commitment and price tag of a 4-year university. A positive interaction also helped Alyssa figure out her college plan.
It was a high school game at home. It was actually a really big game, and I was pitching the first game. And when college coaches come to like your games, club ball or high school, they don't want to be noticed because then you're gonna like be a try hard and then you're gonna mess up. They want to see like how you actually play when you're playing your best. So it was Coach M at Hartford, and she came to my game. I had never heard of her. I didn't even I knew Hartford had an amazing softball program from years before, but she came to the game, and then I got like a random text saying, "Hey, like, have you been like looking at colleges? I know you're a senior already. Like, it's pretty late into like the deciding process. Have you even like thought about Hartford?" I was like, "I haven't, but now I will." And then she offered me a scholarship, and I was like, "Whoa, it's also cheaper to go to like community college, but it's out of county for me, so it would have been a little bit more expensive."
Right.
And then she gave me almost a full ride. So I was like, why would I say no to that? Like, I get to play college softball, and I'm getting like a scholarship. That's awesome. So that's like, I guess after she talked to me, I applied to Hartford. I had applied nowhere until she talked to me. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to Hartford. Yeah. They don't like turn people away, especially when they have a coach vouching for them.
There's a lot of insecurity around getting accepted to, or God forbid, rejected from a college. Sometimes a little encouragement is just what we need. Having each decided on going to community college, Katie and Alyssa still felt certain insecurities with their decision. Due to stigma surrounding community college and the pressure to go straight to a 4-year, they could both feel unsettled at times.
It was just like the face you got.
Vibe, yeah.
Yeah, the face you got, or the lull in the conversation.
And I feel like people I did know that went to CCBC from like watching them go, I feel like when I was like in younger grades in high school, and I would watch like the older kids go, the ones that went to community college were always like the partiers in high school that like had no future. So I was like, is that me?
I feel like I started off defending myself. I was like, yeah, I'm going to community college, but look, I'm playing a sport. I'm taking the exact same class as you, just at a different school.
I feel like, I like went in the honors program, and I had to like prove that I was like working at community college. And I was like, no, like I'm doing this because I'm smart, not because I'm stupid.
Right.
For lack of a better word. But
going
I feel
a
like
smarter route for myself.
So I feel like you and I were in the same boat, kind of, because your friends were all doing like nursing or something. Yeah. So did you feel pressure from them?
Yeah. 100%.
I think, I did too. But then I finally was like, it hit me, and I was like, my path isn't everybody else's path. Right. So I'm going to do what's best for me. They're going to do what's best for them. Good for them.
Right. The thing I regret is not starting earlier.
Yeah. I don't regret not going to one of those. But I feel like I don't regret anything. But I kind of do wish that I did a little bit more prep in high school. Yeah. Like, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. Because, like, I'm glad I went to community college because I was able to explore other options there. But I wish I kind of knew in high school so I could go to, like, a 4-year right away just to get, like, more of a college experience.
Katie and Alyssa successfully completed 2 years at their community colleges. Katie missed out on being in a sorority, and Alyssa didn't play D1 college ball. But dreams grow, change, and evolve. Katie realized that her path isn't everyone else's path. And there are many paths to college, but few are the people who navigate their path alone. In listening to Katie and Alyssa's stories, I got to thinking about Katie's history teacher, who encouraged her to pursue digital media, and Alyssa's college coach, who encouraged her to play for Hartford. Other people do make a difference in our future. Other people do help to create our dreams. The disconnect between college dreams and reality is real. It sometimes seems like you need someone with connections to help you make the connection. And really, how much of our futures are affected by having the reputation of a good school in our past? Katie and Alyssa seem to think it makes a difference. And the more people who believe it does, the more true it becomes.
This episode was produced by Community College of Baltimore County students Katie Roberts, Olivia Yates, Brian Kim, and Lisa Gray, with help from For Real Media. Hosted by Attia Robinson. Writing consultant and editor Stacia Stein. Edited by E.J. Snyder and Kyle Woodward. Original music and sound design by Kyle Woodward. Audio engineering by Nicholas Carlin. Cover art by Jacob Elliott. Thank you to the American Council of Learned Societies and the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation's Humanities for All program for funding this episode. Thank you to CCBC librarians Jean Boggs, Jamie Whitman, and Elizabeth Godwin for research support. Professor Jeremy Kaplan for his support and guidance, Kelly Hurd and Ariel Nissenbland for marketing consultation, Angel Lewis, Kaylee McIntyre, and Andrea Alvarado Avila, that's me, for managing our social media, Katie Roberts and Alyssa McLaughlin for participating in this episode, and to the whole Good School crew for hanging in there and working hard over the past 2 years to produce this podcast series. Good School is a production of For Real Media, a Baltimore podcast production house. Removing perceived barriers to media production and bringing more inclusivity to storytelling. Find Good School on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Good School Pod. Tell your friends, your family, your students, your colleagues, and anyone you think will be interested about our podcast. Leave a 5-star review to help others find us. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you will always know when new episodes drop. Go to forrealmedia.city/good-school for more information about this episode. Bye for now!